Muy buenas tardes, mi gente. Aquí con ustedes la comadre B with another episode. Aquí tengo el microphone of Comadreando aquí y con café. As promised, I'm back. So here we are with some new content for you guys. Today is Wednesday, July 16th, 2025. Y pues ojalá y se la estén pasando bonito. I hope this week has been good to you. As you have seen, I've been posting my last week activities y pues todo estaba fun, too fun, I should say. Quería mandar saludos to all my people out in Tijuana watching. Muchos saludos. Gracias por tanto amor, like I always say. And I know that it's been a while that I have shown love to my guys in prison. Yes, guys, no se me olvida que ahí están ustedes viéndome. So, saludos a todos los que me estén viendo that are behind bars. Please keep your head up. Please stay positive. Okay, you're not alone. The love is there. Reach out. Just keep your cool, guys. Keep your cool. Keep pushing. You know, do your time. We're there with you guys. We are there with you guys. So just, like I said, stay positive. I know your situation's probably not the best you can deal with, pero pues, you know, we gotta stay positive. También quería mandarles saludos a todos los que trabajan Parks and Recreation. Ahorita está haciendo mucha calor y no se rajan estos vales. Ahí andan picking up and watering and all the landscaping and keeping our swings and slides clean for our kids y todo eso. So, saludos a ustedes también. Saludos a mi friend Jessie, because I know you watch all my stuff. Hello. Y pues let's get into this topic. It's not a wonderful one, it's not a good one, but it's a real one. And I just wanted to bring it into light so we can discuss it because it's a serious topic. And I know as a woman, I myself have been victim of domestic violence in the past. So it's a story I want to share so you guys can be in the know. Y para poner advertencia también, you know, use it as an awareness, spread the word. All you people that have younger, you know, I wouldn't say younger kids, but kids that are at age of dating already, que se pongan trucha because you fall victim very easy. I'll get into the story, what happened first, then I'll share a little bit of what I went through. Thank God it wasn't a lot. Pero, like I said, we fall victims to this y ni cuenta nos damos cuando pasó lo que pasó. Because it's just so sudden. Things just, you know, escalate quickly. Next thing you know, you get socked or pushed or shoved or, you know, whatever the case is. So, here we are. This specific case happened here close to my house in the city of Fontana. I wrote down the main information para no estar dando misinformation because we want to stay as correct as we can. It happened on Saturday, June the 21st. Like I mentioned, here in the city of Fontana outside a sushi restaurant. Okay, so what happened is estaba una mujer by the name of Gloria Zamora. She was having a dinner. Some people say that it was her business partner. Other people say it was her boyfriend. Maybe it was her boyfriend that they were starting a business together. Quien sabe, the details from different news outlets that I researched say this and say that. Anyways, Gloria had 7 kids. She had a couple from a previous engagement and she had a few from this last husband she was married to by the name of Tomas Lizárraga. Well, Gloria was having dinner with her date, whether it was her boyfriend or just a business partner. His name was Hector Garduño he also had 4 daughters of his own. Okay, they were at the sushi place. They had interviewed Gloria's older daughter, que dice que her mom was very busy that day. They didn't see her since early in the morning. She had a photo shoot. Then she had told the kids that she will be doing a business meeting and that she would see them later that night. Okay, pues ya pasó el día. Saturday played out, this and that, and we forward it to the part where she is at the sushi restaurant. Okay, they are not sure. Once again, she was a very famous and well-known influencer on TikTok and Instagram. I'm not sure if possibly she went live to show where she was at. Maybe she shared a post of some kind showing where she was at, porque el estranged husband, el Tomás Lizárraga, la encontró. Okay, maybe he was stalking her. It is unsure how he knew where she was at. But the thing is that once Hector and Gloria were done eating and came out of the restaurant, the ex-husband, the estranged husband, Tomas, started a confrontation with them where he shot her, turned around and shot Hector. They both dropped to the floor injured. And thank goodness that there was an off-duty San Bernardino sheriff in the area que oyó los balazos. So the sheriff heard the gunshots and he started driving to see where he heard them coming from. And to his luck, right in the shopping center that he turned to look where he thought he heard the noise coming from, he sees what's going on with this man Tomas and the girl on the floor, the other man on the floor. So he pulled in, he confronted Tomas, and he ended up shooting him as well, and he was dead on the spot, which is a estranged husband. Gloria and Hector, they were taken to the hospital where they were both pronounced dead after a while from the gunshots that they had both received. Okay, so one of the interviews, not one, but several, they have the oldest daughter, and she does talk about how Tomas was very verbally, mental, and emotionally abusive towards her mother. Okay, this is now her stepfather. Like I mentioned to you guys, she had children from a previous engagement, and then she had kids with this man Tomas. They were apparently married a little bit over 15 years, pero que era bien celoso. So he was one of those crazy, overbearing type of men. And just a week before, guys, this all happened, she had gone on a live. I'm not sure if it was either on Instagram or TikTok, but she was speaking to her followers and telling them that she was pending the divorce she had filed for. So, you know, obviously there was a lot of issues going back and forth with Tomas because he wasn't taking the divorce filing very lightly. So guys, the National Domestic Violence Hotline actually says that all women that are separating or divorcing, leaving, are the ones that are at higher risk to be put through this whole domestic violence. Pues claro, se quieren ir y pues a aquellos no les gusta. I have numbers for you guys. I'm going to read off the paper porque son muchos y ya ven que I can't remember it all for you. Pero this is a statistic in 2023 and it is worldwide. It says 51,100 people were affected by domestic violence, which ended in death in 2023. That is an average of 140 victims daily, and it comes down to somebody getting assaulted every 10 minutes. That's a lot. That's a big number, and that's ugly. This was the numbers in 2023. I looked up 2025. Obviously, they close the tally at the end of the year, so they say they don't have numbers yet. I I also read that 85% of domestic violence victims son mujeres. 85% are women. That is very sad, but it also leaves a margin where men are also victims. You guys know I'm not OMG women. No, we go for what's fair here, and I always take everybody's side. We're all human, we all deserve love, we all deserve respect. Y aquí hay hombres que también son víctimas. So eso está bien feo y está triste también, you know. Because a lot of the times, a lot of people like to victimize women, and they like to point the finger at men that you guys and that this and that. No, como hay gente, hombres locos, hay mujeres locas también. It's just one of those things. I personally know some men, friends of mine, that have been through domestic violence with these women. You know, there's just cases that are there, they're present, they're real, and it's just a shame. It's so sad, you know. It also says that 20 to 25% of women in the United States will experience domestic violence at least once in their life. Like I mentioned, I fall into that category. The two top homicide methods that have to do with this domestic violence are always by gun and strangulation. So, les dan un tiro o las ahorcan. Domestic violence ages sadly start as young as 14 years of age. Alright guys, this is the topic that I wanted to share with you guys today. Like I mentioned, spread awareness. A lot of you guys that have your kids that are of age to be dating, mira, it's as young as 14 years old que empieza ya the domestic violence. Watch out for it, the signs que tengan bruises. Rough play is violence, you know. And a lot of times I've seen it before where people don't make a big deal because they're just playing rough. No. There's no reason why any little boy should be pushing around any little girl, vice versa. Even then, I know this is a very hard topic to talk about because nobody wants to picture their children sexually active, but even in acts of intercourse, if it's rough and it doesn't, you know, sex shouldn't be something that's rough and painful or whatever. And a lot of times, I'm not saying that domestic violence is, you know, rough sex or whatever, but a lot of times no se miden, and it's a thing. And you know, kids when they're younger, you know, teens, whatever, they're new to everything, so they don't comprehend that it shouldn't be that way, you know. No hands on nobody, watch out for bruises, no rough playing. Talk to your kids, make sure you guys have that connection to where they're trusting enough to come to you if they have an issue going on. My domestic violence goes back to my boyfriend I had in high school. I wasn't with him very long, but he had a lot of issues. That is the reason why we weren't together. After so many problems that I seen, I didn't want to be with him, but I felt really bad for him. He was in the system, the foster system. So I just had a lot of, I just felt bad for him because he didn't have the family. His parents weren't together. They didn't have their stuff together. So it was just, you know, I pitied him. You can say that. Throughout the time that I was with him and then we would break up and stuff, he just became obsessed with me, and not in a good way. Obsession's never good, but this was up there. He would buy me, at that point, he was 18 that February. We still graduated till June. So, the foster system somehow gave him some money to get a place. He had his own place, he had his own car. So that was the stuff I liked about him, because I started working since I was 14 years old. So to me, to be able to be with a guy that was my equal and didn't have to rely on his parents to give him an allowance, or had to jump on the bus for a ride, I had my car when I was 15 years old. So I liked the point that we were equally established. So he would buy me really expensive things, jewelry from he worked at the mall, so he had access to the stores. Victoria's Secret, you name it, I had it. Jewelry, you name it, I had it. We would walk around, I would say, oh, I like this. In a week I would have it. So I kind of liked that whole I have it. He would spoil me. Well, he used to be a good looking boy, a good looking guy. So he used to take a lot of advantage of that, and he used to be out a lot. I wasn't allowed out. So he was always out partying, meeting girls. Obviously, he worked at the mall. So he just had a buffet of girls laying around. And like I mentioned, he lived by himself, so sometimes I would stop by his house to drop him off, a burger, or anything stupid. I would just drop off, and his house was never locked. He lived in the back of a house. He had a studio back there. So one time I went back there. It was in the evening. He wasn't answering me. So I was kind of worried, because like I said, he had a lot of issues. So I went to his house. I went, to the back, the yard, everything. I went in, and he was on a double date with the security guard of the mall. They had girls. They had candles on. They had that Sky vodka was kind of new. It was on the table. So when I opened the door, I was just shocked. Like, what the hell is going on? So he gets up and he starts yelling at me. He's like furious. So I'm like laughing, smiling, like I didn't know how to react. Like I tell you guys, I didn't like him, but I was just like, what the heck is going on? Well, he got in my face. He shoved me like 4 times as hard as he could to get me out of his house. And when I was like, what is wrong with you? Like, what the hell? What are you doing? This and that. Like, he got so angry that I caught him and I was confronting him. He socked me so hard on my chest, like the air just left my body. And I had a huge bruise right on my chest. And this kid used to box when he was younger. He was training to be a boxer. So he knew how to use his strength, his arm, everything. I don't think he was drunk yet, but he was very, very angry that I caught him. The girl came out and she's in my face like, who are you? And I was like, well, I'm supposed to be his girlfriend. Who are you? And she's like, well, I've been seeing him for like 2 months and, this and that. So I told him, well, you know what? I'm not going to even argue with you. I don't know why you're yelling. Keep him. Stay with them. You guys are cool. I just want to make sure that this guy wasn't over here trying to suicide himself, because he has those tendencies. So she's just like, what? So then the security guard was my friend, and I even told him, like, you're really going to be over here double dating with him and some chick after you just sat there and gave me shit yesterday from the fucking mall? Like, he bought me a lemonade because he knew I like lemonade. So from hot dogs on a stick, he had bought me a lemonade the day before, and here he is being a gachon on a double date with my fucking boyfriend. So he just got all quiet. He didn't know what to say. I was like, you know what, whatever. So I went home. I wasn't sad about it. Like I said, I was just like shocked, because he hit me really hard, and he pushed me. I bruise very easy as it is, so I had like fingerprints all over my arms from when he kept like pushing me, because he would grab me and like push me and push me again. And I felt so embarrassed to tell my mom. Like, I was just like, what the hell? I had my sisters in the car with me, because we were leaving my work. I was with my dad at this point in Baldwin Park. So I had to pass through his house to get to my house. So when I came out of his house, my sister, the one right after me, was like, what happened? Because he was still yelling, like throwing me out. So I was like, oh, he was in there on a hot date, you know. And my sister's just like, I hate him. Nobody liked him. No, none of my family liked him. One day I'm gonna sit here and share my entire story with this guy. Like I said, I wasn't with them long. We were only together maybe 6 months, but out of 6 months, the drama he gave me was an eternity. Like if we were together 15 years, and he just kept going and going. We go into stalking with that one, but of course, like I said, that's a story for another day. But yeah, guys, this is what I wanted to share with you guys today. So please, talk to your kids, talk to your sisters, talk to your mother. If you are in this situation, please learn when your enough is enough, and please just walk away. Count your blessings, or count your losses, however you want to see your situation, and get out of there, because things never turn out good. Look at, you got those movies, Sleeping with the Enemy. What happens? You got Enough with J-Lo. What happens? This is such a real subject that so many people go through, and it's sad because a lot of us grow up in this environment and you don't know better. It's just another day, and it should never be that way. Personally, my house was domestic violence all my life. Till my father left my mother was when myself and my siblings were at total peace, and my mom didn't know how to function without my father. This is what I'm talking about. Do not normalize domestic violence. If it happened once, chances are it will happen again. These people have these little aggressions, these anger issues, and a lot of times they're not controlled. They can go to anger management, and if it's just the animal in them, it ain't gonna change, guys. It's not. And a lot of the time too, it doesn't just affect the person. Like I mentioned here, Gloria had 7 kids. Hector had 4 kids. Okay, Gloria's kids are now orphans because the father and the mother both got killed. Okay, Hector left behind 4 daughters. Now what goes on with that? Their emotional, their stability, everything just goes out the door, and that's so unfair for the children to have to deal with the aftermath of everything that goes on with domestic violence. So, es pa pensar, raza, es pa pensar. So, con esa las dejo el día de hoy. Like always, thank you for tuning in. I know you guys have a variety of everything else to watch, so thank you for giving me your attention. So con eso los dejo, raza. I hope you have a very great rest of your week. Y pues, ahí los guacho. Los adoro. Bye.